peace in Islam. We're gonna do some more Latin incantations, word magic, maxims, proverbs. We're gonna look deeper into words in this one, where we speak all the time in English. We're gonna take it back 1,000 years, which is etymology. Alright, let's begin. We got a lot. Let's go fast. I ain't gonna expound too much on these. So we get through a lot. Might not finish all, but we get through a lot. So, Nemo beneficium suum perdat nisi secundum consuetudinem antecesorum nostrorum et per judicium parium sorum, that no man loses benefit unless according to the customs of our ancestors and by the judgment of his peers. It's important for us to recognize our peers. We're going to talk about peers later, and this what that means, and how we lose when we don't recognize the judgment of our peers. Nemo in propria causa testis esse debet. No man should be a witness in his own cause. Right? Can't trust a man to witness in his own cause. Nemo in vitus compellitor ad communionem. No person is forced against his will into a partnership. Nisi per legale judicium parium sorum vel per legem terrae, similar to the first one, unless by the lawful judgment of his equals or by the law of the land. That's the only things that we should accept judgments from: lawful judgment by our equals or by law of the land. Everything else is extraordinary. Nisi subscriptura aut specificatione trium testium quod actionem vale per sique. So nisi subscriptura aut specificatione trium testium quod actionem vale per sequi, unless by the writing or specific assurance of 3 witnesses that he is willing to proceed in his action. And I just show you the power of the witness and the affidavits of truth. Non pros or non prosequitur, which is just he does not prosecute. We can see in this word, it's the first word we can look into as etymologically. We see prosecutor, which just means someone who follows a thing. Etymologically, always good to know the origins of words. Open up a new section of your brain because we speak English. So, but we know the origins, the deeper roots of the words that we use daily. We open up a whole new reality. So, non prosequiter breve vel sectam. He does not prosecute his writ or suit. Breve. Non sequitur. He does not follow. He does not pursue. Prosequitur will pursue or follow, which is a prosecutor, right? So he does not, non sequitur clamorem suum. He does not pursue his claim. Nullam veritatem calabo nec celari premitam nec mordari. I will not conceal the truth, neither will I permit it to be concealed or stifled. Nulla veritatem calabo, nec calari permitam nec, which is or murderari, stifled. Nullus liber homo capiator, well in imprisionator, that's a strange word, imprisionator, and exulet. Autalico alio modo destruator. Aut alio aliqui alio modo destruator. And then that's just me trying to see if I can understand it before going to the English. Again, if you students of Latin, that's what we're doing also. We double it down. We're learning Latin. We're learning philosophy and law all in one. Foundations, morals, all those things. Nisi, so alico alio modo destruator, nisi per legale judiciam, I know I keep missing that word, judiciam parius sorro, vel per legem terrae, same thing. That no free man be taken, or imprisoned, or banished, or destroyed in any other manner than by the lawful judgment of his equal, or by the law of the land. That's it. We might as well get to that right now, since we talk about equals and pairs. If we don't recognize authority and judgment, advice, help, and the recognition of pairs and equals, like peer reviews, they will be paired, reviewed, or judged by other men. You will have equals, so you better recognize your own equals and respect them. Regardless, you're going to be judged by a man. Omnium gravissima censetur vis facta ab in colis in patriam subidis in regem libris in parentes martis et uxores et vice versa, which we always say in English, and vice versa. That's a Latin phrase, vice versa. Servis in dominos aut etiam ab homine in semet ipsum. And I already understand this whole thing without even going to the English. It means they learning at a fast pace. So it is considered the most grievous violence of all others committed by inhabitants against a country, by a subject against a king, by children against their parents, by a husband against their wives, and so on the contrary, which is vice versa, by vassal against their lord, and even by man against himself. But basically the crime is more great when you bite the hand that feeds you, is another way to say that, or the one that help you, a betrayer. But most violent crimes be against these humanity. Always do the worst to the ones closer to them. That's a strange thing, but ask any detective, the first thing they do is go to the persons closer to them as the first victim, because they see that a lot. Onus probandi, the obligation or the burden of proving. And that's a Latin word we use in English. The onus, when you say the onus on somebody, you say the burden, right? Onus probandi. So all these just saying law things, they all law. But law, you gotta govern yourself. You gotta govern your household. You gotta govern your peeps, your peers, right? And you gotta govern the land. So all these law apply in all those forms and realms. Hear ye, calling the court. The cry is calling the court to in the forum. They say, "Oh yes, let's begin." Oh yes, somebody getting sued today. That's what they used to say in Latin. Oh yes. In English, we start to say, "Hear ye." If I go back further, say, "Oh yes, let's begin." Parapernalia. Parapernalia is what we use in English. We say paraphernalia now, but in ancient times it was all those things which a woman brings to her husband beside her portion. Extra things, parapernalia, and now they use that for extra things outside the household. Paterens patriae, the father or the guardian of a country. A paterens patriae, the father of a country. Pares, which is peers. Again, remember, you gotta be a peer, and you gotta recognize your peers. You can't be like F everybody, all these niggas. You can't be like F all these niggas, cause that's your peers. Equals, which also make you freeholders, and all this deal with your life. Because you live in English law, and it's all in English law. Latin is English law. They govern you like that. And again, your ignorance, the only thing that make you think there's something called white supremacy. Your ignorance. People gonna take advantage of your ignorance. They don't care how they look and how you look. If they can take advantage of you not knowing something, people will. And ignorance allows no excuse. So Pateres curae equals, again, freeholders of the court. Pari materia, and a like matter or argument. And pari passu, and a like pace or equal portion. And parliamentum indoctum. And this is the unlearned parliament. So a parliament can be unlearned. And you see indoctrinated. We say today, I just mean unlearned. And pater familias, the master of the house or a householder. And the way Rome play us, I see as most so-called black people, that they will, for the purposes of taxation or any other benefit to them, to the state, you could be pater familias all day. But for their benefit, for your benefit, they try to make you ward, which is a child of a pater familias, somebody who is a child of a house. That's why they call it the House and the Senate. The House governing the wards of the house. Pater familias ob alterius culpa tenetur, sive servi and sive liberi. The master of a house is held responsible for the offense of another, whether it be his servant or his child. They don't invoke that too much in the courts. I think they should though, because if they're gonna use pater familias, head of the household, as for taxation purposes, if he can get the burden, he got the benefit too. Patria potestas in pietate debit, non in atrocitate consistere. The authority of a parent should consists in infection, not in barbarity. Barbarity. Or barbarity. Let's stop for a second. Per attornatum suum venit hic in curia et fatetur, se noli ulterius prosequi. That's another way, it's prosecute, prosequi. Ideo consideratum est quod defendens et in the sine die. And that's real. Be by his attorney, he came here into court and confesses that he would not prosecute further. Therefore, it is considered that the defendant go thenceforth without the day. Sine die. Posse comitatus. This is basically the power of the country, the county, and the assemblage of persons. Posse comitatus in English law, United States law, American jurisprudence. Pro bono et malo, for good and evil. Probus et legalis homo, an honest and loyal man. And you can see how the word legal and loyal etymology connected. See, law, that's why we say law and legalities are different understandings. Loyalty gotta be existing when you're dealing with legalities, right? You pledge your allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. So the legalities, they're looking at that as loyalty to your country. So now that's how etymologically work. Etymology help you with words in English. Estimare is to estimate. And we get words estimatio and estimation. And on every word you see in English that got shin at the end is a Latin word. Estimatio, estimation. Existimare, to judge, right? If you estimate something, you judging something, you're making an estimate. You don't know, you're just making an estimate. And that also teaching us that when we judge a thing, that means we know that we just making an estimate. People judge things and act like they right. Like, no, you think you know. Existimatio, another word, an opinion, reputation. Existimator, a judge or critique. You see, a critique. Words like love, amore, to love, amor, which is just love, the noun, verb, the verbal noun, amator, a lover, amabilis, amable, adamare, to become fond of, redamare, to love and return, amicus, a friend, amicitia, friendship, inimicus, an enemy, inimicitiae, and enmity, inimicitiae, and curare, to care for, cura, care, curator, a guardian, curiusus, careful. You see how that comes from care, right? Careful, curious, and curia, one of care. Accurare, to do a thing with care, right? Accuracy is to do a thing with care. Accuratus, exact or careful, right? Accurately. Procurare, to attain to, and procurator, a procurator. Securus, free from care. Securitas, freedom from care, right? If you got security, you free from care. That you gotta care for something. You got security, you free from having to care for something. getting robbed or something, right? Fermare, to strengthen. And you already see the word firm come from that. That's automatically right there in our face. Hold on. Yeah, look, that's what word magic is. Firmus, strong, firmitas, or firmitudo, strength. Infirmus, weak. And that's we got places like the infirmary, right? The people sick and weak. Infirmitas, weakness. Affirmatory, to affirm, right? When you affirm something, you give it strength. Affirmatio, and affirmation. Remember, all these verbs got atio, and it's the equivalent to chin. So we basically saying that every word probably said for one, if you speak for a good 5 minutes, 1 or 2 in Latin. When you speak in Latin, it's in a different dialect. Confirmare, to confirm. Confirmatio, a confirmation. So you already even know that's confirmation with that atio at the end. Infirmare, to weaken. Infirmatio, to weaken. Liberare, in weight, in a balance. Libra, like the constellation, right? A pair of scales, a pound, a libra. Libramento, a weight. Deliberare, to wait well or deliberate, right? You see the word liber and deliberate. You waiting out something. Deliberatio, you waiting know deliberation. Excuse me. Ligare, to tie, to bind, right? Ligare. Alligare, to bind up. And that's where we got allegation from. To bind, you put a bind on somebody when you allege somebody did something, right? Colligare, to bind together, and that's like a college. Delegare, to bind fast, we get delegate. Obligare, and we already know obligation got from that, to bind up. Religare, to bind fast. We get things like religion, to bind to a thing, right? Putare, to think. Computare, to compute. Disputare, to discuss, right? A dispute is a discussion. Disputatio is a discussion. Reputare, to reflect upon, repute. Sanare, to cure. Sanabilis, curable. Sanatio, a healing. Sanus, sound, being sound in mind. Sanitas, health. Sane, when we say sin, when you sin, you wear on your head, right? Insanus, mad, insane. Insania, madness. Insanire, to be mad. And vesanus, mad. Sperare, to hope. Spes means hope. And desperare is to despair. You got no hope. You're desperate. Desperatio, despair. Desperation. And they get that wrong. It's desperation. We see the atio. Inspiratus, unhoped for. Desperatus, the spirit of. Spirare, to breathe. Spiritus, like we call spirit. A breath, high spirit. Aspirare, to aspire. Aspiratio, aspiration, right? To breathing. a breathing, aspiration. Conspirare, to agree together. When two souls come to one, they conspiring. So conspiring ain't really a bad thing. That just means two breaths into one, two souls agreeing together. Conspiratio, in agreement, right? Conspiration. That's what a word probably ain't even used. It could be used. Respirare, to respire. And again, Webster have to use things like this to write dictionary. So he probably didn't even get around today. Respiratio, respiration. Suspirare, to sigh. Suspirium, a sigh. And they looking at it like the ancient one, looking at it like to breathe is life, is a sign of life. So that's what spirit is. The walk-artery, to call. We got a lot of words from this. Walkie-artery, to name. Walks is a voice, and we get the word voice from walks. The vocabulum, we get the word vocabulary, a word. Vocalis, a vow. Vocatio, a invitation, or vocatus. Avocare, a call away. And you advocate, you're doing that. This is what advocate next. Avocare, to summon. You call it two. Convocare, to call together. Devocare, to call off. Evocare, to call out. Invocare, to invoke. You can see the word invoke comes straight from that. And provocare, to challenge, provocate. Provocatio, an appeal, provocation. Revocare, to recall. Sevocare, to call aside. They use all these in the law. Licere, to be for sale. Licet, it is permitted. And this will be in one of the videos of the Lingua Latina series we're going to do on this channel. We're trying to figure out a good way to. I've been trying to think out what an English word that'll help I find one now in this, which is license. That word license showed us word licet. It is permitted, right? A permission. That word license is you got a permission to do something from something. Licentia, a license. Ilicitus, not allowed. Licenter, without restraint. Tenio, and to hold. Tenor, a holding on. And we already know a tenant, and you holding on to a property of someone else, who's the holder. Tenax, holding fast. And tenacitas, a tenacity. We get that word from tenio. And pertinax, obstinate. Pertinacia, obstinacy. Abstinere, to abstain. Abstinentia, abstinence. Attinere, to belong somewhere. And contenere, to hold together. Yeah, this one got a lot of words too. Continentia, a restraining of oneself. Yeah, that's continentia. Continents, a continent, right? If they got a hold together, got continents, a lot of the lands that's held together. Continuous, continuous. Continual, forward. Continuare, to connect. And continuatio, connection. A continuation. Contentus, contented, content. detenere, to hold off. Retenere, to keep back. It still meaning hold, to hold back. Destinere, to keep asunder. Desinate. Pertinere, to reach or extend. Pertinent, we got words like pertinent. Sustenere, we already know sustain. Sustentare, to support. Sustenatio, support. Haereo, to hang or stick. Hesitare, to stick fast. That's like hesitate, right? Here, the next one, hesitating. Hesitation. Hesitatio. Adharere, which is the adhesive. Coharere is like cohesive. And inharere, adhesive. All mean to stick. That's where we get those words from, adhesive tape. Video, another common one, to see. In the English, we use the word video, meaning of something that we watch. But that word is a Latin word that means to see or I see. Vedere means to see. Video, I see. We see you, like the TV. You see our companies, they just take a Latin word and name their company. And those to be the companies that bust through. I be looking at that, like, a lot of TV companies, but the ones that got these little simple names that's ancient, older words, be the ones that come through and the rest of them fall off. They talking to you and your ancestors when they use these terms, incantations. Visus, sight. Evidence, the evident, something that's evident, right? You can see the word vide and that something you see, evident. Evidentia, distinctness. And vedere, to envy. And vedia, envy. And the word see, that's connected to envy because you want something that you see. You just want them because you see him. You wouldn't even one of you in that scene. Envidiosus or envisus, hated. Praevidere or previdere, to foresee. Previdus, foreseeing. Providentia, providus and providentia, foresight. Prudence, sensible. And prudent. Imprudence, imprudent. Imprudentia, prudence. And at ents, we can see there's these words that got tia at the end. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Improvisus, unforeseen. Interceptio, the act of intercepting. So you see interception in football. Percipio, to perceive. And praecipio, to prescribe. And praeceptum, a precept. And praeceptor, a teacher. Praecipus, extraordinary. Recipio, to take back. Recuperare, to regain. Receptus, a retreat. Receptaculum, a place of refuge. And reciprocare, to give backwards and forward. Suscipio, to undertake. susceptio, an undertaking, anticipatory, to take up beforehand, anticipate. He or she takes up beforehand. Occupare, to take possession of. Occupatio, an employment, occupation. It's an employment. Is to take possession of something. We go fast. Hey, how much running out of time? My playlist. Claudo, close or shut. Claus is a key. Clavis, claustra, a lock. Clausula, close, a close. Concludo, which we get the word conclude, conclusion, to close up, conclude. Includo, which we ain't gonna conclude no time soon. We got a whole another section. We got philosophy, quotes. We'll end with that. Includo is to enclose. Includere is to enclose. Concludere is to close up. Excludere is to shout out. And again, if you was a student of Latin, you know excludere is to shout out. The first one that I was reading, excludo, is I shout out. Which basically is like exclude. I exclude you in English. I shout out. I shout you out. Include. I enclose you. I bring you in. Circle around you. Secludo, to shut off. Seclusion. Conclusio, a conclusion. Credo, to believe. Well, I believe. Credere, to believe. Creditor, a creditor. Somebody who believe. Who give belief. Credibilis, somebody who credible. Incredibilis, somebody who is not credible. Or something that is not credible is incredible. And we don't really say that word in that sense like that, but basically that's what he's saying. Somebody who don't believe, or something that don't believe, are not credible. It's incredible. Credibilitas. 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 Credibleness. Credulous. Credulous. Incredulous. And accredere, to trust. And that's where we get things like accreditation from. Accreditation is somebody just a trust. Sisto, cause to stand or to place. Statim, at once or immediately. Status, fixed. Status, right? Status, a standing. Statio, a station. Obsisto, to oppose. You abstain. Obsistere, to cease. Let me see again. The every one is the one that say to something. Obsisto would be I oppose. Assistere, to stand by. Consistere, to stand, right? You consistent. Desistere, leave off. Existere, to come forth. Insistere, to trade upon. Yeah, that's the insist I've been talking about. And you insist. Consist, like consistency. Stand firm on something. Persist, you persist, right? Persistere. Resistere, to withstand. Resist. Subsistere, and to stand still. Subsist. All those English. Let's take off the ERE of still. Definitely in the Webster dictionary. So we're going to end them off with a couple of these. A good bit. So we got Aboe maiori discit arare minor. From the old ox, the young one learns to plow. We We're gonna skip past the ones that goes without saying. Just want to know your youth is learning from you, your good and your bad habits, and things you do. Absentem laedit cum ebrio qui litigat. He who quarrels with the drunken man injures one who is absent. Hold on. It just goes without saying, you quarreling with somebody who is under the influence, you basically talking to a brick wall. That's what we say these days. Absentem qui rodit amicum qui non defendit alio culpante hic niger est. He who speaks of an absent friend or fails to take his part of attack by another is a scoundrel. Or a black. See, they use the word niger. They use the word black for scoundrel. That's why y'all don't never hear me call y'all black people. They say so-called black people. That's what people call y'all, but in English and in Latin and in every other language of the planet, that word means many things. And if you're talking about it in a person sense, then you're talking about a scoundrel. And any other words you want to put on there. But that's a real ass statement. He who speaks of an absent friend or fails to take part of attack by another, right? You help your friend fight, you're gonna run. He's a scoundrel, a black. Ad laetitam datum es vinum, non ad ebrietatem. Wine is given to bring mirth or happiness. Laetitiam, not drunkenness. Ebrietatem. Wine is to bring happiness, not drunkenness. That means if you drink, just try to be moderate with it. Ad hibenda es en jocando moderatio. Joking must have its proper limit, right? Joking should be understood to not be hatred. You can't just be like saying anything they want to hide behind the fact that, oh, I just been telling a joke, or it's just comedy. That can always work. Proper limits. And divesit omnes quaerunt nemo and bonus. All acts if a man be rich, no one if he be good. That's all we see. We need to be looking for the goodness in people first. Animu rege qui nisi paret imperat. Govern your temper, which will rule you unless kept in subjection. And basically subjugation, because that's what we call taking the head of Satan, binding the devil, binding your demons, governing yourself. That's all that's saying. Because they will rule you. Aspera vox ite, sed vox es blanda venite. Harsh is the voice which would dismiss us, but sweet is the voice of welcome. Mbelum kun witiis. Yeah, that's what I say. Mbelum kun witiis sed pax cum personis. War with vices, by peace with individuals. And that's real. Don't make war with people, because that's personal. If you want not like things, don't like spirits, which is vices, bad things. That's what you hate, not people. Bis winkit, qui se winkit in Victoria. He conquers a second time, who controls himself in victory. And that just teach us not to overdo winnings, things that we believe we win are conquered. Don't celebrate too early. Don't overdo things. If you conquer a town, and it is using this as an example. If you conquer a town, don't pillage the town. Don't kidnap the women and burn down the fruits of the field stuff. Control yourself in victory, and you win a second time. Benevolence. Caeca invidia est, ne quidquam alius quidquam, and that rectare virtutes. Envy is blind and is only clever in depreciating the virtues of others. That's all they do. Caeci sunt oculi cum animus res alias agit. The eyes see not what is before them, when the mind is intent on other matters. That's what I was saying. And carpe diem, quam minimum credulus postero. Catch the opportunity while it lasts, and rely not on what tomorrow may bring. We're going to talk a lot about opportunity in this one, I think, so I'm going to just keep going. Casus de mentis correctio fit, sapientis. The misfortune of the fool is a warning to the wise. Casus de mentis. Yeah, correctio fit, sapientis. I'm trying to figure out how they like form that. Cave a cane, muto et ab aqua silenti. Beware of a silent dog and of still water. That's true. The dangerous one is the one who quiet, not the one who talking too much, because they're telling you what to look for. And the still water, that's where the shark's gonna be. Not the one that moving. And that isn't more metaphysical for a lot of things that you go through. So let's continue. We got a good bit. Certa amitimus. Yeah. Certa amitimus dum and certa petimus. In grasping at uncertainties, we lose that which is certain. You always gotta keep a balance with certainties and uncertainties, and physics and metaphysics. We won't be grounded. We won't be too grounded. So you see, all these things is balance. So we don't grasp too much at the uncertainties, so we would lose that which is certain. That's just like the grass is greener, those type of things. People say the grass greener, but you already got a nice yard, but you want the other yard. But you ain't certain on that. You certain on your yard. certe ignoratio futurorum malorum utilior est quam scientia. Ignorance of impending evil is far better than a knowledge of its approach. And that ain't seeing contradiction to how we think now. Like, people be wanna not see it coming. But think about it in a law way. That's why the law don't like they do it, but they don't supposed to leave cases open for too long, because, well, basically that's why they do things like time served, because of stuff like this. Because the impending evil, quote unquote, the punishment is far worse than the knowledge of it. If you don't know, right? Put it like this: if you gotta go to jail, it better if you just that to go to jail and stay in there until it's time for court and to get all that out. About to come out and sit for 3-4 years with a pending case, and you know that you're gonna have to go to jail anyway. They gonna look at that. You need to try to look at that time served, because the court already see you as being punished just by waiting on that punishment. You got knowledge of its approach, so they're looking at that as already being punished, kind of in a way. Cochlea concilis in factis esto volveris. Be a snail in deliberation, a bird in execution. Right? Be a snail when deliberation time, when time to execute what you've been deliberating on. Fly for it. Go straight ahead. You already did the deliberation, no need to slow down. Comes iucundus in via pro vehiculo est. A present traveling companion help us on our journey as much as a carriage. And what I mean is basically a pleasant wife gotta come with us on when we get our mansion. The mansion ain't not without the pleasant wife with us, right? The companion. The riches ain't nothing when you got the companion with you. Just as important as the carriage. Communia sunt amicorum inter se omnia. Friends have all things in common. Alright, that's another way we say birds of a feather. Conciliat homines mala. Misfortunes make friends. Another way we say that is misery love company. Crimina qui cernut aliorum non sua cernut, hi sapiut alis despiuntque sibi. Those who see the faults of others and see not their own are wise for others and fools for themselves. Right? You wise for others, but you a fool for yourself, because you see faults. You see all the faults in the world in others, but you can't see it in yourself. Yeah, you wise, alright. Cuyu Swiss. Well, that's an interesting way they construct that. Cuyu Swiss hominis es errare, nullius nisi incipietis in errore perseverare. To err is human, but to persevere in error is only the act of a fool. And that goes without saying. Basically, to keep erring, and you know the better as a fool. De mortuis nisi bonum. Say nothing but good of the dead. Of course, what I was saying. De parva scintilla magna saepe excitator incendium. From a little spark, there will often be produced a great conflagration. Right, you can start a big fire from a little spark. You could basically, you say things like throw oil or gas on the fire, on the flame. You're just making it bigger. Or you think you're doing something small, it becomes something bigger. That's what that's saying. Deyecta arbore quivis ligna colligit. When a tree is felled, everyone runs to it with his axe. And you already know that's human nature. We see something easy there for the taking, we dance when we come. We ain't gonna do the work. We gonna come with the axe after the tree done fall. And deliberando saepe perit ocasio. By hesitation, the opportunity is often lost. Opportunity again, and the same thing. By hesitation, the opportunity is often lost. Take opportunity when it's there. And dividet impera, divide and rule. One of Rome's favorite weapons that Moors fought for every time again. They see reading history and looking around me today. And dividet impera, divide and conquer or rule. Docendo disces, you will learn by teaching. And that's why instead of just reading this to myself like I usually do, or used to do, right now I record it, we're gonna read together, and we're gonna learn. I gonna learn while I teach. Domisuae quilibet rex. A man is a king in his own house. That's how we love rex. You a king in your own house. That's your first kingdom. Don't even think about the other kingdoms that you got that kingdom on lock. Donne queris felix mutos numerabis amigos tempora si fuerit nubila solus eris. In prosperity you may count on many friends. Donne queris felix mutos numerabis amigos. You may count, yeah, amigos, on many friends. Muchos amigos. Tempora of the sky. Fuerit becomes nubila, overcast. Solus, alone. Eris, you will be. If the sky becomes overcast, you will be alone. That's for the most part. You got real friends who with you no matter how the clouds come. No matter how cloudy it get. Dos qui sequitur lepores ne utrum capit. He who follows two hares loses both. Chase one rabbit. Yeah, a lot of things I can say about that, but I know I got a lot more to go. Let's continue. Edere oportet ut vivas non vivere ut edas. We should eat to love, not love to eat. And that just means don't be too greedy. Moderation. Be content with what's good enough for you. Right, eating to love. As I got enough food, I in abundance. Loving to eat. You will rob, steal, kill, and do all kind of things for that food because you're consuming it in your life. Elepantum ex murre facis. You make an elephant out of a mouse. And that's what people do all the time. They create these things like Illuminati and the great ultimate they. I put they in quotes. And people always they. I do it all the time too. So when I say people, I part of people properly. So they say things like they. That those are they. We making an elephant out of a mouse. When we do that, because we ain't really got no. We can't really pinpoint what we're talking about to the point where we gotta say things like they, powers that be, Illuminati, and white supremacy. These police, these terms, not actual walking, talking beings that we can actually engage with. We ain't even get to the engagement point yet. We ain't something in the barbershop talking about already fearing the unknown, the elephants, which is really mouse. We making the elephants. Emerre malo qua rogare. I would rather buy than beg. So true. Empta, and that's what people always do too. They're like, hey, Honda's money, no, Honda's money, bro. Honda's money, I ain't paying with you. If you like that, I gonna pay. Empta dolere docet experientia. Experience purchased by suffering teaches wisdoms. So that experience that you get by suffering or going through a thing, that teaches wisdom. Ense petit placidam sub libertate quietem. With the sword, she seeks quiet, peace, and the liberty. Massachusetts talking shit. And you look at all the states, you can tell Rome already been embedded in the beginnings of the United States with all these things, because they always on some war shit or something. So with the sword, you know, with us as Moors, our sword is love. So with love, we seek quiet, peace, and the liberty. Them boy telling you straight up, with the sword, that's what we gonna make peace and freedom. Repete isti gladium, now the sword, qui sui est impos animi. Leave not a sword in the hand of an idiot. So that's what we tell in Massachusetts. We gonna take your sword if you don't show prudence. Prudentia. I go for you, Massachusetts. Esto quod esse videris, be what you appear to be. And I have to put this one there because everybody wanna hide behind this thing that it's just comedy, just acting, man. Just a character, not the real me. No, how about you be what you appear to be sometimes? God damn it, because a man gotta have a word. He bound by his word. We can't be just flamingly throwing around words and claims, and then when shit hit the fan, oh, that wasn't really me, man. I don't want to hear it. Etiam sanato vulnere cicatrix manet. Even when the wound is healed, the scar remains. And the scar just means the memory, which is always a lesson, a reminder of a lesson. When the wound is healed, the scar gonna be there to remind you. talking metaphysically, not just physical scars. Ex inimico cogita, posse fieri amicum. Consider that an enemy may become a friend. That means don't total destruction on your enemy. Don't destroy me, man, right? I don't destroy her. Don't destroy him or her. Because he may become a friend one day. Always seek to try to make an enemy a friend. That's what King do. Good one. Famanihio escerus. Nothing move more quickly than scandal. That's true. That's why we know things. Broadcasting and programming like TMZ becomes popular because scandal moves fast. Fast is it's a house de doquere. It is good to be taught even by enemy, right? I always learn, no matter from who. Favore et benevolentia etiam in manis animus manus mansuscit. And again, I try to see if I know this while I was looking at the English. Favore, good nature, and benevolentia, kindness. Even fierce spirits become tractable. You see, you can turn an enemy to a friend. Even the most fierce spirits can become tractable with good nature and kindness. Ferre libenter homines id quod volunt credunt. Man freely becomes that which they wish to be true. Right? The heart of man wishes something to be true. They start to believe in it as truth. And in truth based off sums and solving sums mathematically. Right? 1 + 1 is 2. That's truth. Not what you believe. You know, no matter how hard you try to believe that shit. Fooling yourself. So fructu non foliis arborem aestima. Judge by a tree by its fruit, not by its leaf. So let's see, that's a fructu. I already not even gonna say that quote right there. Frusta labrat qui omnibus placere studet. He labors in vain who attempts to please everybody. We always talk about that one. Fugit irrevocabile tempus. Time flies, never to be recalled. Not simple. Time flies, we can never get time back. Make use of it. Enjoy the moments. Full moon fugiens and igna incidi. And kiddy. While avoiding smoke, I have fallen into the flames. And that's real. Yeah, people always want to complain when they fall in flames, but you the one who walking by the smoke, get out the smoke. You bound to fall into the flame. You know, people go into situations where they know they won't be nosy, but they ain't get mad when they get burned. You go around who going trying to avoid the smoke. But it's just easier to stay away from the smoke. When you see the smoke, there's a fire. Which is another quote. Guta kawat slapida non vi sed saipe cadendo. Dropping water makes the rock hollow, not by its force, but by constant action. Now I just said a cantation on when you want to understand discipline and consistency. You don't gotta work too hard, or if you got a goal, you don't gotta worry about trying to get it overnight. Luck is a rare thing. So rely on consistency, constant action. Gutta fortunae praedolio sapientiae. A drop of luck is worth a sack of wisdom. Same thing. A cask of wisdom. People always say things like that. A person just lucky. No. Well, even if that's the case, that don't matter for you. You don't need luck. You will get lucky. People always get lucky. But don't rely on luck. Rely on consistency and wisdom. A cast of wisdom is worth a drop of luck, and vice versa. You can make your own luck by dealing with wisdom. Put it like that. I ain't gonna say that in my ways. Harmonies. Hold on. I make a phone call. Hold on. We back. Let's go a little faster. Can't stay uploading long videos to YouTube. Take like down near a day. Homines ad Deus nulla re propius accendunt quam salutem hominibus dando. Yeah, hominibus. Hey, fellow creatures. In nothing do man so much resemble the gods as in giving help to their fellow creatures. On this side, I say fellow man, but fellow creatures would be better because even animals, all living things, homo proponit, se Deus disponit. And that's where I come from, Passion of Christ. Man propose, God dispose. Basically, God, Allah is the best of planners. That's what they say in the Moorish customs. We say that's in the Moorish Proverbs too. Homo proponit, se Deus, and disponit, in ancient Carthage. Basically, we plan and we can do all the planning we want, but the last planner of all is God, right? Make the decisions at the end of the day, make the ultimate decisions when we go, when we pass. If the plan gonna work or fail. Man propose, God dispose. Idem velle idemque nolle. Ea demum firma amicitia est. To have the same likes and dislikes, and therein consists the firmest bond of friendships. So true. Be with those who want to be with you. Be with those who are interested in the things you're interested in. Y'all will have the best times. It don't necessarily gotta be everything, but you know, you can't be two people who got too much different dislikes. Y'all gonna go in two different directions. And they're talking about masculine and female relations, but that goes with any friendship. Illiberale. I have to look over here and see what word that is. Ungenuinely. Yeah. Illiberale. Man, that's interesting. Illiberale means it's ungenuinely. Est illiberalist mentiri ingenuum veritas decet. It is ungentlemanly to lie. Truthfulness becomes the gentleman. That's deep. Truthfulness is gentlemanly. Hear that, ladies? Imperat aut servit collecta pecunia quique. Money, as it decreases, becomes either the master or the slave of its owner. So, strive to make money your slave, never your master. in vestimentis non stat sapientia mentis. Wisdom does not consist in dress. Basically what that means is you can get wisdom from anything that can speak to you, that you can understand. And not only from things that you can hear and understand, you can get wisdom from everything, stuff you see. That's what I mean when they say in dress. Now you see an older person with gray hair, you say, okay, that person got wisdom. That ain't what wisdom mean. Wisdom can be from anywhere. Not so, ingratus onus miseris omnibus nocet. One ungrateful man injures all who need assistance. Yep. Because you will make the ones that giving the assistance to say, I ain't giving these people no assistance no more. That's how they treat me. That one person will spoil it for the bunch. Ingratus ver doleum es proforatum. An ungrateful man is a tub full of holes. Never full that tub. Ipsa scientia potestas est. Knowledge of self is power. And they didn't even put that in there. Ipsa, self-knowledge is power. Iratus cum ad se redit simitum irascitor. An angry man, when he returns to reason, will then be angry with himself. Yep. Because anger is a lower self-activity. That's why the Buddha meditate to fight against anger. That's one of the things he fight against. And he want to tell you right now why ira, anger, furor brevis is a little bit brevis of madness. So that's all anger is. It's madness. It's just a temporary madness for people because they get out of anger, right? So it's a temporary, short-lived madness. That's why they be sorrowful afterwards. Iracundiam qui vincit hostem superat maximum. He who gets the better of an irascible temperament conquers his worst enemy. Right? Lacrima nihil quitius arrescit. Nothing dries up more quickly than a tear. And that's an incantation to help people get through grief. Like, you will heal, you will be better. Through what time? And it won't take long. Nothing dries up quicker than a tear. Cry it out, move on, help if they're going to help, because, lacrima nihil quitius arrescit. Laus propria sordet. Praise of one's own self defiles. And just another humbling incantation. This praise of one's own self defiles, right? Because you unlimited in your own self. You unlimited in what you do. So when you praise yourself, you stopping yourself from getting to the unlimited, to the sky. You already saying, I this, I the best. So you're gonna stop. The one who doesn't praise this, so they're gonna keep going, and they're gonna get heaps of praise from others on their journey to wherever that goal is, because they ain't stopping. Lingua lapsa vero dicit. An unguarded speech reveals the truth. Linguam frenare plus esquam castra domare. It's most difficult to bridle the tongue or to shut the tongue off. Stop a man from speaking, or stop yourself from speaking, than to conquer an army. We talk about that in the last holy day lesson. The hardest thing man to do is to keep his damn mouth shut. Always telling the damn self. But again, that's why the first one, lingua lipsa verum dicit, an unguarded speech reveals the truth. Man gonna tell the truth sooner or later. He keep talking. Mendacem memorem esse oportet. A liar should have a good memory. Even better. And bendaci homini ne verum quidem dicenti crederi solemus. Yeah. We believe not a liar, even when he is speaking the truth. So both of these dealing with lies. The first one goes without saying, a lie should have a good memory, because a person who don't lie don't gotta be remembering shit. He's speaking from the heart. He know good. He got his conscience clear, so he ain't gotta stutter in the speech. He got grounded. He stand on firm where he believe. Not in the high, right? But a liar gotta have a good memory, so he can have a story straight. Not the person who's not a liar, right? And we believe not a liar even when he is speaking the truth, because you lose credibility. We ain't caught in a lie unless you repent or apologize and then show amount of time of not lying to gain credibility back. But other than that, a liar, quote unquote, will not be believed even if they tell the truth. Multa verba modica fides. Many words, little credit. Multae manus onus lavius faciunt. Many hands make light work. Right? Work together, everything easier on everybody. Nobilitas morum plus ornat quam ingenitorum. Nobility of conduct is a greater recommendation than nobility of birth. And that's true, because nobles by birth are just for show to me. You gotta be raised right. You gotta show me you got manners, and you gotta be noble. That's the whole point of the word. You gotta have a noble character. Nulla die sine lenia. Not a day should pass without something being done. And it's one of my favorite ones that I write down. A lot of these things you should write down, because writing is spelling. Take out your wand, your pen, get like your boy Harry Potter, start writing spells so you can manifest. Nulla die sine linea, without the line. Say not a day should pass without something being done. Like, you gotta go write those down, work at it. Scheduling is another incantation, something you can do. Schedule it. That's very important in the metaphysical and physical. I don't get too deep into that, but work at something every day, right? And nullus dies omnino malus. No day is wholly unproductive of good, right? Every day brings its own good. Occasio aegre offertor, facile amititor. An opportunity is found with difficulty and easily lost. So good opportunities is not easy to find, but it's easy to lose. So don't hesitate when you get it. Go for it. Patriae fumus igne alieno luculentior. The smoke of our own country is brighter than the fire abroad. And basically, the shit in your yard or in your life that you gotta deal with, even if it just smoke and you see the flames in somebody else's yard or somebody else's business in life, the smoke in your yard is brighter. Believe that. Handle that first. Put that out. He'll fire. Mike can't see him. Paupertas mors altera. Poverty is death in another form. And poverty is just like wealth. Wealth is don't only means money. In the word, in sense of the word, wealth means abundance. Abundance in many things. Abundance in happiness. Abundance in wealth. Abundance in food. Abundance in these things. So poverty got the same thing. You can be poverty in knowledge. You can have poverty in health. You can have poverty in many things, not just money. But it is death in another form. So don't seek poverty. Pessimum genus inimicorum laudentes. The most detestable race of enemies are flatterers. Nobody loves a flatterer. Nobody likes a flatterer. I can tell you that now. Stop flattering. Have you watched the movie? What's that movie called? Wangoon. The show. Not a movie. 200 episodes. One of them. He had conquered. One king had conquered another kingdom. And when he get into the palace, the king start flattering him. So he keep punishing him more and more because he detests him. Like, God damn, dude, at least try to fight me back. Hunter fight me back, please. Because he was all that begging me to love and how much you want to trail in your own country and your own people to save your own life. All that flattering up to me. Ain't looking too good. And he been detesting that. He want to spell him and do the worst to him because that, he been trying to figure out the worst thing that'll make this man mad at him, but he couldn't because he been just a flatterer. He been ready to do anything to save his own life. He ready to. Every time he do that, my man be like, "Listen, I gonna have fun with your wife tonight, your queen." He ain't even had the heart to fight for himself. Even for that, he be like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, just don't kill me." So everybody who been, all the other ministers and the people who been in the palace at that time, been just shaking their head, looking down like, you gotta have some kind of pride, brother. And he get the knife to him, like, go ahead and kill yourself, cause it getting too bad for you. You not only killing yourself. I mean, you better off death than know what you're doing now. So his wife, she's gonna kill herself. Like, I'll stab you. And he stab myself afterwards, so we have to go through the. So basically, that's what that is. That the most detestable is flattering. You gotta have pride. He should have had the pride from the beginning and take himself out or whatever. Get the key up and keep his head up. Say, pluris est oculatus testisonus quam ariti dec. One eyewitness is better than 10 hearsays. Right? 100 people can say a thing, but the one who been at the scene, who was a witness ready to give first-hand that's why the court take first-hand testimony as one of the highest evidence, because they much more powerful than even 10 hearsays what somebody say happened from who ain't been there. That's what hearsay is. Principis obsta serro medicina parator Cu mala perlongas con valere moras. Check the beginning of evil. The remedy is too late when the disease by delay has gained strength. So that means always stop things at the beginning. Don't let bad things mature. It'll be harder to destroy later. And that goes with a lot of different things. Qui prior est tempore and pitior est iure. He who is first in time has the prior right. Qui priore est tempore and potiore est iure. I don't know why I be saying and I speak in Latin, not English. Qui priore est tempore, potiore est iure. That's a law term. That's a law phrase, really, and it's really it's universal. If somebody said that shit, they got the higher right to that shit than the person who come behind them try to claim it. And your grandmother, your grandfather got the highest right in the house. They come first. He who is first in time has the prior right, or the highest right. Quod tibi fieri non vis, alteri ne feceris. Do unto another that which you would have them do unto you. One of my favorite one. Redite cuique suum. Give to each man that which is his due. Another one of my favorite ones. So this is a crime. Not giving a man what his due is one of the 3 crimes in the maxims of law. Don't hurt nobody, don't steal from nobody, and pay every man his due, and you'll be alright. Regia, and you ain't commit no crime. That's what my cousin did to the boy in the court. He tried, like, which one of these I did? Oh, none? Yo, dismiss this. Dismiss this. Ain't no crime but committed. A crime but committed will bring forth the motherfucker who I owe, who I steal from, or who I harm, so I can pay him. Or heal him. Well, ain't nobody to bring in. Well, dismiss this. Ain't no case. You know what I'm saying? You get down to the simple shit, they know you know, and they ain't gonna play with you. Regia crede mihi, reses succorrere lapis. Believe me, it is a kingly act to help the fallen. Regnat populi, the people rule. The motto of Arkansas. Religio docenda non correcenda. Right? Say that again. Religio docenda non correcenda. Religion must be taught, not forced. And people will be forcing religion. Why? Just teach your religion. Don't force it. That's why I make videos and I put holy day lessons. I put Islamism, those religious videos. But they ain't forced by nobody. You ain't gotta click on and watch them. Rex eris, si recte facies. If your conduct be noble, you will be king. That's what we talked about earlier. Your conduct being noble makes you the noble. Not because you got a certain amount of wealth or a lot of people know you for, then you famous. None of those things make you noble. Your ways. Semel in omnia vita quique aridet fortuna. Once in each man's life, fortune smiles upon him. And that's what they say. Every dog gets his day. A sunshine or a dog ass at least once a day, once a day. At least once in his lifetime. Everybody shine, get his shine on once. All those things, same as this. Semel in omnia vita quique aride fortuna. Every man get lucky at one point. Sequerum es nisi vas. Qualcunque in fundus Infundis accescit. Unless the vessel be pure, everything which is poured into it will turn sour. Again, you can't teach a person who ain't willing to accept the knowledge or the teachings. And that's what that's saying. An empty person. Everything you pour into that person will turn sour. Spiritus promptus, carro autem inferma. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Flesh always weak, but the spirit is always strong. So you gotta be able to balance that. You can't let your body, your flesh, your thoughts, and this earthly plane stop your woe. And it's something going for something good. Stutum es in lactu capillum sibi e velerre. Quasi calvitio myror levetor. It is a sheer folly to tear out the hair in grief, as of sorrow could be relieved by baldness. It is true. Basically, it's saying metaphysically, don't hurt yourself more behind grief if that ain't gonna relieve the reason why you grieve. You're just gonna be grieving more. When you're gonna pull your hair out, so you're gonna be grieving about that too. Vacuum was altius pleno vase resonat. An empty vessel makes the most sound. You're the one who's talking too much. Yeah, the empty one. Don't let them fool you. A verba ligatia, because you know a full vessel is full with peace, content, and you know, not too much wants and covetousness and stuff there. Vacuum, the empty. Verba ligat homines, men are bound by words. And tarorum cornua funes, bows horns by ropes. Bow horns by ropes. We talked about that earlier a little bit. Men are bound by words. His word is will bind him. So don't take your words lightly. Don't be joking all the time, because that's how people will know your fruit by your words. Your actions, by your words precede the actions a lot of time. Verbum sapienti sat. A word is sufficient for the wise. Another way to say that is the wise take words serious. The wise man will take heed of things that said to him. He could take advice, he could take teachings from anything really, because the word is sufficient for the wise. Veritas premitor, non opprimitor. Truth may be suppressed but not strangled, right? Because they always come back to the light. Veritas vel mendacio corrumpitor vel silentio. Truth is violated either by a lie or by silence. So you can lie to violate truth, or you can stay silent when truth is, when you should speak up, right? By not saying something, you know you should say something is a lie also. But for the students of Latin who be on this video, when I tell you, when you see the two whales, that means either or. Let me see. Either or. When you see one whale, that means or. When you see two like that, you're dealing with either or. Verba ligant homines. You already did that one? Yeah. I don't know when you did the last one down here. Veritatis simplex oratio est. And veritatis simplex oratio est. Simple is the language of truth. Right? We solve the sums. We break it down to the common denominator, solve the sum to get the truth. Take out as much as possible to get down to the common denominator. Like, it's hard to even explain that with like examples, but we always get examples of that when people go too round to get around the bush to get to the truth. You're like, hey, this what happened, that what happened. Now this how you solve them. That's somebody coming through to solve a sum mathematically, really, because you're breaking it down to the simplest form, and that's the language of truth. Truth don't take that much words. Velius argumentum es arro virtutibus arro. Silver is of less value than gold, and gold is of less value than virtue. That's real. Vincit omnia veritas. Truth conquers all things. Vincit qui se vincit. He is indeed a conqueror who conquers himself. And I read like 10 of those that say the same thing, really. Vir sapit qui pauca loquitur. He acts wisely who says little. Virtus in actione consistit. Merit consists in action. Merit, which is a Latin word, merit. Those who do things with morals and integrity gain merit. Consists in actions. Virtus vel in hoste laudator. Valor, even in an enemy, is worthy of praise. And you see, valor is one of those high attributes, highest of attributes. And nobles are the old and the day, if you're noble, you even recognize valor even in your enemy as something worthy of praise. Now, white generals of enemy armies can always meet up with each other and don't kill each other and have a talk and stuff, because they recognize the different virtues, fairness and stuff like that. Volenti non fit injuria. No injury can be complained of by a consenting party. And I see that all the time. You see people come back years later and tell a story about how bad somebody did them. And I ain't talking about like somebody who get violated and they've been scared or ashamed to speak out till later. I talk about those instances when the two people or the two parties are enjoying the benefit and then come back later how somebody cheat them on something. You gotta, but at that time they ain't want to say nothing because they feel they're gonna lose out on something. So you consenting. So no injury can be complained by a consenting party. They only talking back. People only come talk later because they already lose that benefit or ain't no benefit no more. But when the benefit been going on, when the party been jumping, you know, they're green. Volens et potens. Willing and able, the motto of Nevada. Vultus index animi. The face is the index to the mind. Alright, we talked about that in the last one. You see it written all over your face. So we done. And I know it's probably long as hell, but a whole lot of stuff you can learn in one video. Even take each one of these and go further into you go put these in and you get whole discussions on these things and get a lot of good explanations into our modern day tongue about what these things saying. And nowadays you building character, you becoming noble. The more days you walking around with understanding, you becoming noble, you becoming pater familias, iudex, becoming sapientia, and those things. So, and again, we practicing a lot of Latin. Read Latin every day. Listen to some or read something pretty. Exercise the brain. So, Walete, farewell. Till next time, peace.